The Western Conference Finals tip off tonight as the Golden State Warriors take on not the San Antonio Spurs, but the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, keep in mind that Kevin Durant and company lost all 3 meetings against the Dubs this season. I'm not rubbing it in, but there's a lot of people thought that the Spurs were going to be in versus
everybody
the
did
Dubs.
except them.
Let us finish the copy. Come on, Skip.
I was chiming. I was just harmonizing with her.
He's aggressive today. He's pounding the table. It's because you're here. So listen, the question we pose...
67 wins and don't make it past the second round.
Table's hurting. So listen, the question we pose, who is going to win this series? Skip?
I will be surprised if the Oklahoma City Thunder win a single game of this series.
Stop, Skip.
I gave them on Friday. I'm going to give them 1 game because inevitably Steph and Clay will have one of those nights, one of those cold nights. They'll combine 3 of 17 from 3, and that will be the 1 game in Oklahoma City the Thunder will steal. I'll give them 1. But it'll be over in 5 games. Look, what just happened was my Spurs lost that series to Oklahoma City more than the Thunder won that series.
Thunder won.
Okay, I'm here to remind you, going into the 6th game at Oklahoma City, my Spurs were the Vegas odds makers favorites by 2.5. They opened as a 2.5-point favorite to win that game. It got bet down to a 1.5, but they were favored to win Game 6. They were up 19-13 with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. And from that point all the way until halftime, they had the coldest playoff stretch of their history, their 5-ring playoff history. I still haven't recovered from it. I thought about it all weekend. I can't explain it. They shot 5 for 28 in that stretch, and at least half of the 28 were uncontested shots that just did not fall for reasons I don't know. I can give you all my theories, my conspiracy theories. I don't know what, except to tell you that in the first 5 games of that series, my Spurs in every fourth quarter were in position to win the basketball game, and they lost 3 of those 5. I can't defend them except to say that I also cannot commend Oklahoma City for them being a threat to the Golden State Warriors. I watched carefully all 3 of those regular season games against Golden State.
In the fourth quarter, were OKC in position to win those games?
Yes, they were, and they flew apart down the stretch of every game, just the way they did fairly routinely in the fourth quarter. And unfortunately, my Spurs out-thundered the Thunder, or out-blundered the Thunder in those games in this series, because my Spurs were the team that fell apart down the stretch of those games. So in this case, do you realize the Thunder averaged 18 turnovers a game in the 3 against Golden State? 18 a game? You're going to lose those games. It's way too many because Russell Westbrook tries to do too much against those 2 guards. Those 2 guards can really defend, and they really defend Russell Westbrook, who shot 17% from 3 in those 3 games. He's a high-volume 3-point shooter who's not a very good 3-point shooter. And if he keeps trying to do that, they will lose. Again, Enes Kanter and Steven Adams had breakout series, coming-out parties against my Spurs, and Tim Duncan, aging Tim Duncan, as you say, and LaMarcus Aldridge, who found the stage way too big for him because he still has too much trailblazer in him. Still too much. Yes, he does. He does. He doesn't have enough spur. He hasn't earned his spurs yet. And so those 2 guys got punked by the other 2 guys for Oklahoma City. But in this case, this will not happen because those 2 guys are going to become liabilities on defense because they will not be able to defend the array of shooters starting with Draymond Green, who will force them out of the paint and bring them outside. I'm sorry, the Golden State Warriors are too deep. They're too versatile. They do too many things. And finally, Steph Curry is just too great for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He averaged 35 a game against them. In that 1 game, the middle game, he scored... he outscored them down the stretch. I think it was 11-10 in the last 4 minutes. It was Steph over the Thunder in the last 4 minutes of that game. I look for that to happen regularly. It's going to have to be a cold shooting night for Golden State for Oklahoma City to win a single game off them.
Skip, my concern for for OKC is, can they force Steph Curry to guard? Because I think they're going to put him on Roberson, who's a spot-up shooter. He won't have to exert a whole lot of energy. They'll put Klay Thompson.
Spot-up shooter? You better put quotes around shooter.
No, I'm just saying that's what he does.
Of course, he made 3 in Game 6 against my Spurs, you know, like the game of his life.
They'll put Klay on Westbrook, and they'll put Harrison Barnes on Durant, and that will allow Steph to conserve his energy. I can see Golden State winning this series in 4-2. Because if you get a push, you just say Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Durant, and Westbrook, they push. Okay, now we got to go to the third best player, although I can make a case that Draymond is the second best player. OKC has nobody that's comparable. Ibaka comes and goes. They don't run any plays for Adams. He's a guy that's he'll rebound, get some putbacks, Westbrook will penetrate the lane, he'll dish off, he'll get a dunk, but they don't run plays for him. Cantor, he can post up. He got distance beyond the three-point line. He can run some plays. But here's the thing. When they go small ball and they bring Iguodala in and they take Bogut out, and so now Iguodala's playing 4, Draymond's playing 5, now what do? And I think that's going to be the problem they're going to have. I love Kevin Durant. He's been unbelievable against Golden State. I like, what I like most? I like what Russell Westbrook said. He says, guys, I got to do a better job of not shooting as much, getting my teammates involved.
Okay, but that was after Game 3 that they lost, so they were down 2-1. Okay?
I see better than I hear. I heard what he said, but moving forward, I wanted to see if he was going to follow through with what he said, and he did.
He did.
He knows he can't be a volume three-point shooter. But somehow they're going to have to make Steph Curry work. They can't let him relax on defense. There's a reason why he's able to put up 25, 26 shots and do what he did in the fourth quarter, Skip, is because he's resting. They're going to have to force him. Maybe you have to post, I don't know Roberson's post game, but he might have to post Steph Curry up and make him work on things.
They can play Waiters in place of Robertson, and they lose some defense. But,
exactly.
But they played them together. They played Westbrook and Waiters together some.
Yeah, Waiters played good in that series.
He did.
He played really well, and that's the thing. Can he get consistency? That was always his problem. He's a pretty good player, but the consistency is where he struggles. I'm going to take Golden State in 4-2, but it's going to be a lot closer. They're going to make you
more
sweat.
Bullish on the Thunder than that.
I am, but it's the fourth quarter that scares me because they had a 26-point lead against the Spurs, and the Spurs whittled it down to 12 with no shooters. They got guys that can shoot from 30 feet and beyond.
It's been an issue for them all season.
Yeah, so 4-2.
How about you?
I got it in 5, and I'm going to be surprised if it goes 5. And
You ought to be shaming yourself.
Why? I mean, you made the same case I made. I think you're wavering on your 6 prediction.
No. It's
you
going
went from
6.
7 to 6.
It's going 6. It's going 6 games.
Well,
it's going
I'm
6.
just one short of you. I'm 5, so.
KD, I got you.
Okay. Well, I got him too. I gave him props. I did.
No.
I gave him props. Trust me on this.
Hey, Russ.
Hey, trust me.
I got Russ. As long as he don't show up in any more cutoff sweatshirts, I got Russ.
Okay.
There's no guarantee on that one. We can expect that.
I gave Kevin big props on the show on Friday. He was sensational. He went superstar on my Spurs, especially in Game 6. But the whole series, he was the best player on the floor. He has been the best player against Golden State on the floor in all 3 games.
Yes.
He was at least as good as Steph. His points are right. I think he averaged
36.
I think it was 36 versus 35. So I can make a case he'll be even better than Steph in all-around ways.
But here's the thing, though. But you also, Klay Thompson can go get you 30. Westbrook can get you 30. But Draymond can get you 25.
Hey.
He can get you 25, 12,
any
and
given
6.
night, Iggy can get you 20.
Right.
He will.
And that's the thing.
He's only the MVP of the finals.
The bench. If you really think about it, they only play like 2 guys off the bench.
Hey, Sean Livingston is a monster.
OKC.
He's hard to guard.
Who OKC bring off the bench? Waiters and Cantor. Those are the only 2 guys. They play. They're 7 deep.
Randy Foye comes in and makes.
Foye occasionally.
Yeah.
But they going 9, 10 deep.
Yep.
Everybody talks about the Warriors' depth, right? Well, we're going to talk more about them later.
Can we? Are we done with the Spurs now? We're finished and we're done.
Oh, no, we're not done with the Spurs because we're going to talk about them later. But they are done.
Why are we talking? They're not even in the playoffs.
Because Skip
You
is here.
can't
We
stop
got.
talking about them.
And
Am
he
I
can't
right?
stop thinking about them,
That
so
is
we're going to
correct.
talk about them.
That is correct.
But we
Them
will
and their
stay.
costume party. I got a big issue with the costume party.
Only you would have a problem with the costume party.
Well,
Who doesn't love costumes?
They had on Sixers costumes for Game 6.
But listen, we're going to stay in the NBA. Last year, it came down to Steph Curry and the Warriors versus LeBron James and the Cavs. The Warriors were essentially unstoppable. Will we see the same storyline this year, or will LeBron be able to change that headline, maybe walk away with the title?
I can't wait for this.